So we want to discuss the Preseen analysis for ICAN case study in November 2025. So this Preseen is just a glimpse of what you should expect in a case study exam. So basically, in this Preseen document, given some information, but it's still kind of scanty anyway. So, but I would walk you through, everything you need to know. So let's get started. We have someone that has been having issues with this course here. Just try to pay attention because I've been in the shoes and I understand how it feels and I have what it takes for you to pass. So you want just to pay attention and ensure you are listening and proactive in class. This study is on Folak Motor Nigeria Limited. There are 5 exhibits here. So generally, you can say that this case study is on the motor repairs industry. It's quite, it's kind of unique in a way, but we're still going to crack it. Now, this is exhibit 1 about you. So this is your name in the case. You are Sylvester Chukudi. Yeah, and your employer is Bagudu Ademola and Co. Chartered accountant. So you're an accounting graduate, writing professional level, ICAN. All right. So, and you are reporting directly to Dauda Bagudu, a partner in the firm, and your position requires proactive approach, and all that. So, first answer this question here. And what's the question about? The question is, are you writing an internal or an external report? To answer the question whether you're writing an internal or an external report, you need to answer this question: who are you and your position? Then, who are you writing the report to? Or we can say, who are you addressing the report to? Yeah, so those are the 2 questions you need to answer. So now, who are you in this case now? You are Sylvester Chukudi. So as far as case studies is concerned, as far as ICAN case studies is concerned, that's your name. You get that? So we have it, Sylvester Chukudi. And your position is what we can say a trainee. Say you're an accounting graduate. You can say you're a trainee at Bagudu, Ademola and Co. So who are you addressing the report to? So basically, this, you can find it in the unseen. So I have been able to come up with, predicted unseen. Yeah, so now let's go to that. So this is my prediction for the unseen part. So the requirement now, exhibit 6, as you can see, what are you asked to do? You're asked to, draft a report addressed to the board of what? Folak Motors Nigeria Limited. So back to this. Who are you addressing the report to? Board of Directors at where? Folak Motors Nigeria Limited. You are working with Bagudu Ademola and Co. and you are addressing the report to Board of Directors of Folak Motors Nigeria Limited. So now, do you think you are writing an internal or an external report? So answer my question with your reason. So I'm listening.
Writing an external report. Reason being that the Folak is the one sending us a mail for us to draft a report for his review based on their business, right?
So, and the reason why you're writing an external report is because you are addressing the report to what? An external party, like, external parties. Because, board of directors now, it's not just one person that is there to get. So, and the board of directors of another company, not your own company. The name of the company you are working with is what? Bagudu Ademola and Co. We've sorted that. Now let's go ahead. Let's go to the key responsibilities. So you can see we have all these responsibilities. Financial analysis, analysis of financial statement, assessment of proposals, evaluation of forecast, strategic task planning, and drafting reports. So basically now this is just, an insight of what your requirements would be about. They are also saying that it should be like updated with development in the accounting and taxation sector. So which means that your experience too, can also help. Yeah, so and that's true. Maybe you've worked as a mechanic before, you've worked in a motor repair company. Yeah. Your knowledge, can also be vital. Yeah. So now we have the exhibit two, and this exhibit two now talks about the Nigerian economy and the services sector. So there's something you need to process in case study. It's called professional skepticism. So this means that you should always question something. Is this thing right? Is it free of errors? Or when they give you maybe an information or a data, you shouldn't just take it as, oh, it's always right. No. Just like these days now, if you want to get anything, you want to buy anything, just know that you should be ready to be cheated. Yes. That market, that the wherever. Now let me give you an example here. Some guys were working for me and okay, they told me they are done. I was like, okay. I mean, I didn't just take they are done for it. I had to go and check what they did. That's what we call professional skepticism. And I eventually realized that they were not even done. So now let's go to this exhibit two now. So now this exhibit two, with your professional skepticism, what can you say about this? Merely looking at the information, what did you first identify? Let's now say that you are now giving the actual data. They now told you that okay, according to so reports released by the National Bureau of Statistics, this is the data, and truly the sector contributes over 50%. Would I have changed your opinion on that? You were not given the source. This is a professional skepticism issue. The source of this exhibit wasn't provided. You have done your analysis, you have prepared the report using the information in this Preseen. Yet, even in this exhibit, you have prepared your report based on all the information. So imagine they are telling you that sector contributes over 50%. Maybe that was not right. Maybe in reality it was contributing like 10%. So which means that you must have misled those that read your report. You just put a clause that, oh, I'm stating that the source wasn't provided, but I have done my report. So I will not be liable. Any decision you make, I won't be liable for it because the source of this decision cannot be confirmed. So that's professional skepticism for you. So you need to exercise that. You need to know that. All right. So now you can see we have all this information. So they're telling you about Nigeria being one of the Africa's largest by GDP and all that. So I mean, this part now is just like giving you information about like the wider context part, how the industry, how it's doing, and how it will impact the company itself, which is Folak Motors Nigeria Limited. Just puts a wider context here. This wider context. So I'll tell you where you would use wider context. You just take note of that. So now you're given the structure of the services sector in Nigeria, just giving all those information, the motor repair subsector. Yeah, they are even telling you about some key features that are affecting motor repairs. That's why the motor repairs business is now booming. So this now you can translate them to the threats. You can say that they are threats to the motor repairs industry, and basically in your requirements you can be asked to identify opportunities and threats, or you can be asked to use a model, maybe a SWOT, or just take notes. These are threats, and in case you're asked to list them, you have a lot of them here. You get to just take note of that. So now we have the economic impact of motor repairs within the services sector. So this economic impact They are still like telling you about like the advantages of these motor repairs, the contribution. So like you take note of that. So also we have the economic merit of the motor repairs subsector. All these are just like giving you information about like the advantages of motor repairs anyway. So now we also have the challenges facing the motor repairs business in the Nigeria services sector. So challenges now, these are also threats that we've identified. So we also have opportunities. Yes, these opportunities you can also need them if you're asked to identify them in the requirement. Let's take note of that. The opportunities, we will label them. And now we also have the role of government and stakeholders. So though this is all like telling you about who is responsible for who and what would make the business control continue to boom, what would make the motor repairs industry, what would make it to be prosperous. All these are included here. And now we have exhibit 3. This is exhibit 3 now. What can you also observe was the source provided?
Okay, so I feel like the information also is not complete because this part where they mentioned that since 2022, the sector has undergone substantial shifts, faced economic headwind, evolving consumer preference, and policy-driven reforms that collectively reshapes the terrain. Like I feel the information that are supposed to show that all this actually occurred has not been provided.
Yes, there's possibility of withheld information. Yes. Take note of that. Then this exhibit 3, like I said, the source too was not provided. So we highlight that. Now we've identified that. So where you would put them, I will tell you. Where you put it in the report. Yes, I would still explain, just chillax. So this exhibit 3 talks about the analysis of the motor vehicle sales and distribution business in Nigeria. The introduction part is talking about the Nigerian motor vehicle sales and distribution, sector and how it's doing, market overview, the size and growth, all this information that are like telling you how the market is doing. You would note that the unseen can require you backing up your analysis with some of these facts, with some of this information. Like now, okay, they want to expand some of this information to back up your decision or your claim on whether they should expand or not. Just take note anyway that I'm still working on predicted unseen, where I would come up with what I believe your examiner would want to ask in the unseen. Yeah, and so far so good. I've been trying my best and sure that I've been giving positive reviews to regarding the unseen. So whenever I send it, I sure you take it serious. So we have the key segment and distribution channels. The key segment now, we have the first one, the used vehicles, which we'll call the Tokumbo. All those accidented cars, all those cars that they stole ahead, I will bring it to you as used vehicles in Nigeria, and you buy them. So these are ways with which they distribute all these cars. Another one is the new vehicles. We all know that new vehicles are very expensive. So considering our financial situation, though I'm aware that some section of Nigeria there is more new, but let's say that to the general new vehicles are expensive. So most would usually go for the used ones anyway. After that, we have the local assembly. We have series of companies too. They are doing all those assembly of vehicles in Nigeria. We have the Scene and some other ones too. These are the key segments of these vehicles, like the classification of all these vehicles, how they are being distributed, how they are sold, various ways with which they sell them. Number one is the dealership. Number two, the independent dealers. Number three, the online platform. So all these are things that we are familiar with anyway. So They're just giving us viral information of the market and how the classification of these vehicles, how they are sold, what drives the sale, you get. So, and all this information, like I said, it would be helpful. I understand that there are just a lot of, to us, we might feel they are unnecessary job in the present, but they might be helpful anyway. And they might not be helpful. Yes, I have my reason for saying that. Because your case study examiner, at times they used to act in weird ways. But anyway, I got you covered. So, and maybe I should explain why I said they might not be helpful. There was a diet whereby if you read the Preseen and the unseen, they are like two different case studies. This is what I mean. The requirement, yeah, they give it like details about coming in the Preseen. Now, the requirement and the unseen now carries a different company entirely. The reason why this Preseen analysis is important is you have the knowledge of, okay, at least what you should write down. So that knowledge you can now apply it, even though they give information about another company. That I taught them financial statement analysis. So at least with the knowledge of financial statement analysis, you can apply it to the information given to you in the unseen. So that's it.
So I have a question. Okay, so according to what you just said now, I just want to ask, does that mean that there are some part of the Preseen that have been provided that will not be relevant for us when we get to the exam, or like that will not be relevant at all?
So that question is when you don't get to that exam, or that's when you will know the ones that are relevant and the ones that are not relevant. Imagine now, they give you information about one company, that's financial statement about one company in the Preseen. Now, the unseen is now telling you that do the analysis of another company, which is in the unseen. So, are you now telling me that you go and apply the financial statement analysis on the one given in the Preseen? Now, I think enough of my yapping. Let me just. So now, look at it now. This is thirdly. Part of thirdly, the information provided to you here, you can see this financial statement is what is for thirdly. Yeah, so now come check the requirement. As you can see, saying that what you should do, financial statement analysis of what? Castel. So a lot of people, that's why you need to calm down and read the requirement. So what most students used to do is that they'll cram different suggested solution. They'll cram it. So this is just a situation about one company is proposing to acquire another company. So I am now to appraise that other company and see if there will be benefit if there is a merger. Yeah, so that's exactly what you have to do here. Yeah, so just take note. To me, I will try my best, give you ideas, do analysis for you, do details. But at the same time, I'm not the examiner. And the fact that I'm not the examiner doesn't mean that I should not listen to what I'm saying. So I'm not the examiner, but I'm like a guide. I'm like a tour guide. I will guide you on how you should go about it. So we have all this information, we have the key market drivers, just name it. We have the challenges facing the sector. This can also be regarded as threat. But to take note, can also be regarded as threat. Yeah, we also have the trend and opportunities. Yeah, the trend and opportunities. And then you'll be like, why am I not reading those stops? Yeah, that's common stops. I want us to focus on major things which I have for us, because we must still have a lot to discuss today. So now the trends and opportunities now, that is, those, you can just note it that these are opportunities, that Folak's mottos should look out for. Put that in the report if the examiner asks for them, not if the examiner do what asks for them. There are also information about electric vehicles. Yeah, definitely now. We're talking about motor repairs, and we're not talking about, the emerging technologies. That doesn't make sense. So, as much as Folak's motors is also, repairing all those, all those cars, that are common. They should also note that, okay, and imagine being the company that can repair all those luxury vehicles, the cyber truck and the likes together. So what I would try to say is that the company like Folak too can also exploit all these electric vehicles and the likes. They can also like go into the repair of those vehicles. So I just thought to bring that because it's more important. I saw the competition too. Yeah, because I talked about the competitive landscape where they mentioned the indigenous and the foreign-based companies, and how they are segregated. They're segregated. So, but these are just vital information. Then I still have information about the future outlook. Together, here we are told about the sales and distribution, name it. These are still just major information you need to take note. Keep taking notes. Let's go to the next. Here we have exhibit 4. Still the same, all this adjust. Alright, what I also note about this activity regarding the professional skepticism part. So I asked for is that what can you observe with this exhibit 4 regarding professional skepticism? And professional skepticism part is still the source wasn't provided. So we have 3 exhibits that we cannot confirm the source. So we'll put it there for the examiner. The examiner will give us information, he not give us source where he brought the information out to. So and it's not our work to start looking for which newspaper said it. So I want to just prepare a report and state it there that it not give us the source of this information. Simple. Yeah, I believe you enjoying the class, right? Yeah, so message the number showing on the screen to get the predicted unseen and the suggested solution. So see you in my dear. Cheers.